I will carry for my life the burdens of decisions we made in that contest.
It's been a tough 2010 so far for Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner. He had a rough go in front of Congress recently, testifying about his role in the AIG bailout. And it's almost gotten to the point where he could be kind of a convenient scapegoat, the guy who gets the axe because of a lot of public dissatisfaction. That may be going a little bit too far. He may not really deserve to be fired or asked to go, but the question is out there. So does the White House need to find another Treasury Secretary, or is Geithner unfairly getting all the blame for AIG and anger about the Obama administration's handling of the economy? Jesse Walters said Geithner is not the problem at all. The blame is out of control. Geithner's decision was not made for AIG's benefit. Congress jumped the gun by not demanding bailout oversight. There were too many voices screaming at the time and too much at risk. Geithner does not have sticky fingers, in my opinion, and he knows the beast like nobody else. Without him, there would probably have been no paybacks. That's a very good point. I do think that Geithner is getting, piled on a little bit too much, and that the AIG debacle is not really his fault. And also, AIG really did need to be bailed out. There was a lot of anger about the payment to counterparties like Goldman Sachs and Credit Suisse, but it would have been a pretty big problem if those companies had to take huge hits related to AIG if AIG actually went under. No one really wanted that to happen. But Cain Pazzo, love the name, is a bit more harsh when it comes to evaluating Geithner. Little Timmy, it's time for you to pick up your marbles and go home. If we hear you utter carefully one more time, we're all going to vomit. Your stage presence is deplorable. How could anyone believe you were not involved in the AIG cover-up? I have no doubt that you are a brilliant thinker. I just worry what you are thinking about. That wound up being a pretty popular sentiment. I do think, though, that it's a little bit unfair, but he does raise a very valid point. One of the biggest criticisms of TARP and the bailout during the Bush administration was that Geithner's predecessor, Hank Paulson, was closely tied with Wall Street, having been the former Goldman Sachs CEO. Geithner, by virtue of being the head of the New York Fed during the AIG bailout and credit collapse, obviously has now a bit of a taint as well, which is unfortunate. It may not be fair, but that is the perception. Finally, we have one reader who, while not calling directly for Geithner to go, said that Obama has a good man in the administration already to take over if Tim did leave. Hans Virliad wrote, "At least the president still has Paul Volcker in reserve. Get it? I have a high opinion of Volcker. In my opinion, he has America's interests at heart. Not that the others don't, but Volcker also has a lot more goodwill than the rest of them, both from Main Street and from Wall Street." Looking back, there was a lot of credibility, I think, for Volcker because of what he did to fight inflation. He wasn't very popular at the time, and he still has many critics, so I'm not sure that he would be a slam dunk candidate for Treasury Secretary if the president wanted to go down that road. But there definitely is no denying that Volcker is certainly well respected and very experienced if he did want to try and take on a bigger task in the administration.